Some other things, again, fire suppression, redundant generators. We have to be up 24/7. We have to be, not only if one generator goes down, the next one's got to be failover and fail safe so that you can hit the next generator. These companies can't lose power, so it's very, very special requirements, and you can't just build this stuff overnight. So that's why, again, if we're not going to pass up the next Google, we're not going to pass up the next opportunity. Hopefully for everybody, you see that exciting. I do, and hopefully we don't have to pass on those opportunities. It'll be sitting here waiting for them. High-end security surveillance, obviously, as well. And that's it on that slide. So as well as the 5,000 square foot data center facility, Rio is going to be moving our offices into the downstairs of the incubator as well. So what that means to the incubator tenants is the high technology, the data guys, the phone guys, all those things are going to be available for them right downstairs. We had actually originally planned on moving into the upstairs, so that actually leaves all that additional space for incubator tenants, which is a good thing. We've kind of squeezed ourselves, if you can see here, we've kind of squeezed ourselves around the data center to accommodate our needs. I'm not sure, a lot of you are aware there's a waterfront committee involved in doing something with the waterfront. We're hoping this is a catalyst to drive that waterfront. In fact, it's already being looked at that as the catalyst to drive that waterfront planning committee. So, again, we're hoping that others follow and it helps develop the waterfront as well. The last picture is just what a data center facility looks like, full of racks and all the other special equipment. Not a real big deal there, but just to have it in case anybody wants to know more about it. And lastly, again, coming from Portland, incubators there's a lot of them there. They do incredible things for the communities, for businesses, for schools, all across the board, for fundraising. And an incubator in a small city like this will just get that much more attention and have that much more catalyst to do incredible things. So again, I guess thank you for letting me present tonight, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them, and I hope everybody's excited about this as I am.
Questions?
Do you see this attracting local business as well as obviously outside organizations coming in to use your facilities?
You bet. Those local businesses or those want to do local businesses will have the same if not better opportunity to become incubator tenants, and so yes, inside and outside. In fact, if they're local, that'll even be better.
Okay, could you give an example of what a local one might be?
I'm not sure of what companies would already be in business and have a building in place, but somebody who is designing some type of software that wants to release it to the world, maybe even working out of their house for now, would be a perfect incubator tenant. Somebody who has been working on some type of an invention on their own. Maybe they already have a job here in the local community and they want to take it further, and they want to go over to the incubator and say, hey, I've got this idea. What do you think? Is it going to make it? And do you want to help me out? So probably not a lot of times, at least in the Roseburg area, it's businesses who are currently in business, but they're the businesses who want to be want to take their business and make it bigger.
On one of your previous slides, you showed some of the partners that are involved in the incubation or incubator development. How are you working with the partnership?
Helga's part of that group.
Okay, good.
I don't know if it did not say the partnership on there. If it didn't, we need to get that on there, don't we?
It didn't. I was just curious then, because I know she's doing a lot to, attract different businesses, particularly hitting some of the California markets. And
You bet. In fact, Helga was a lot of help all the way through the process, and Eileen Opus as well with the local CCD. Yeah.
Another question, you mentioned that you were looking at, opportunities for solar energy. with the data center. You're looking for any sort of, I guess I'm curious, to what extent is this looking for green energy or high efficiency production? Because I know some of the companies, particularly Google and Cisco to a limited extent, are actually seeking out some of those types of energy production.
You bet. So anything that supports high efficiency, like you were saying, so the more power you can get for less, and then also green power. I mean, both of those things are very important to a data center, and it helps us attract, again, businesses around the world to ship their servers here and put it into, a green-friendly or a power-friendly building. You bet.
I missed it. Where is this located again?
So are you familiar with the visitor center? Right over the bridge, where Rio Networks, Spruce Street? So the actual address is 522 Southeast Washington.
It's the old Farmers Co-op building.
DC building. Well, you mean
Right down the road here. So that's
the old surplus store. Is that part of this, or is this just separate at this?
Unfortunately not. It is not.
So you're just strictly over in the old DC side?
Correct.
Just as a sidebar, and this has more of my day job, I need to talk to you a little bit about the driveways that are on the state highway.
Okay.
If you'd, I can leave a card with you, or if you'd leave my card, I can contact you tomorrow.
Excellent.
Need to talk a few minutes about that. We're trying to clean up some of the access points along the highways. So.
Good. Excellent. I know that the Riverfront Planning Committee too is involved in the sidewalks and some other things of coming into town and cleaning
It
it.
could all fit together quite nicely.
Good. Excellent. Yeah, in fact, our meeting is about that tomorrow morning. Good.
And is that in the floodplain?
It is not. So a lot of people, that's one thing that we made sure it was not in the floodplain. That would be not a good place to put a data center with all that electricity and servers and everything else.
When you talked about the internet, I'm not sure what you called it, the data superhighway.
Sure.
Is that Internet 2, what used to be called Internet 2, or is it something else, or is that you're just saying the internet?
It's the internet, which is Internet 2, which is IPv6, which is the whole, latest and greatest everything. The internet is our superhighway. So basically, what we'll have is fiber providers that will be delivering, fiber to the building to connect to those superhighways. So DFN, a local company, is already committed to build into the building. We're talking to some very charter and some other very, very large companies to have them build into the data center. The more people, the more fiber access, that we get from these larger companies that come into the building is just the more that we can attract these big companies that need to access that super internet highway. Because, basically you look at, a tier 1 service provider can get from here to New York in less than 20 milliseconds.
What kind of partnership do you think you'll have with Umpqua Community College? The area doesn't strike me as being focused education-wise on high tech.
Sure. Well, they were, from what I understand, they were looking at bringing in kind of more of a incubator or entrepreneur type program next year, and I think, I'm not speaking for anybody here, but I don't know that that's going to happen next year. So, this is a very good piece to be able to add to the college, them to assist with that. And actually, we've got an incredible relationship with the college. Pete Bobber is involved, and he's one of the guys on the community group. So, again, it's not like that today, but I think that needs to change, and that's what we're working on doing.